All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. I'm dropping shit everywhere, but it'll be all right. I'm Chris Gonzo Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Not too bad. Going pretty good.
I know my picks yesterday. Let me remember. I was 4-4 on my picks yesterday, so I was 500. I know you had a good night.
I finally got back on track after I've been terrible for about two or 3 weeks, man. I hit two parlays that I was 8-1. Hit two parlays. The only game I lost was in college basketball, and that was Clemson. The -4.5 of Boston College. That was the only loss I had. Yeah, I hit my 3 NBA picks, hit my 3 NHL picks. So I had a good night finally.
Here. Yeah, like I said, I went 4-4. These, I mean, not terrible, but could have been better. I had a couple of them that I lost at kind of like the Knicks and Lakers. That game went in double overtime. Cavs lost to the Heat. I didn't think Cavs would lose at home to the Heat.
Well, it's like my hockey.
Clemson got beat by Boston College. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, my hockey, I had the LA Kings at the Hurricanes, and I took the Hurricanes. Kings got up 4-1. The Kings come back in the third period and tied at 4-4 and won in overtime. and I won the other two games in hockey in overtime. So I won 3 games in hockey in overtime. So I was.
And of course, fortunate. IU played like shit last night against Maryland.
That's why I stay away. I won't pick IU.
They're so inconsistent, man.
Well, they've been playing really well lately.
One time they can look like they're a team that could compete with anybody. Then the next game they look like they couldn't.
But it was at Maryland.
It was Maryland's. I think undefeated at home.
Yeah, so that's
Maryland's plays tough at home. They do. Tua finally was out of concussion protocol after 5.5 weeks.
I've seen that.
So
other big news: Tom Brady retired.
Yeah, Tom Brady retired this morning.
That surprised you at all?
It surprised me a little bit. I thought he'd play another year, at least one more year. I didn't think he'd want to go out kind of the way the Bucs season went. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he still put up pretty good damn numbers. So it wasn't like it was
4,600 yards.
Yeah, it wasn't like it. I think he attempted more passes than anybody in the league. They didn't have no run game.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought he was going to end up in Las Vegas, or I know some people even said San Francisco because
I think that'd have been a really. I know the offense is a little bit different in San Francisco, but I think that coordinator could have put something in, and I think it'd been a perfect.
And with
fit.
all the weapons that they got,
I think it'd been perfect.
Him or Rodgers could be a real good fit there. I know Rodgers probably right now is more expensive.
What do you think about if this happens? Right now, it would be a trade, but what if nobody trades for him and he gets released? What about Carr going to San Francisco? If he gets released, you could get him on probably a fairly decent deal.
I think it's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be in on Carr. I think.
Yeah, but why would teams trade for him?
No, I wouldn't trade for him
because they're probably going to release him.
I'd wait for him to release him. I think Tampa Bay
Jets,
49ers could be Carolina Panthers over there with Frank Reich.
Yep.
I think that could maybe be a possibility.
Colts,
I still think maybe
Colts,
the Colts.
Maybe you don't know. You don't know what
it's hard to say just because you don't know who the head coach is and what. But I can see maybe the Colts because I don't know if they're going. I don't know if they're sold on. I keep hearing they want Levis or Levis or whatever.
What about the Texans? I mean, what if they decided they didn't want to go young quarterback?
Yeah, I mean they could if they decide.
I'm not saying that they're not going to.
If they decide they want to maybe trade back and get more picks, but they got like 13 picks in this year's draft, and I think 9 of them are in the first 3 rounds. And then they have 2 first-round picks next year. So
plus they got a lot of holes. What I'm saying is, if they wanted to take Carr now and try to build the defense and offense and stuff,
no,
I mean
they could. The only thing I think where they won't do that is a lot. You've seen a lot of teams here recently. The trend has been having success when you have that quarterback on a rookie deal. When you're not paying your quarterback a lot, it seems like that's. I know the Chiefs. They paid, but the way they structured Mahomes' contract too, he's getting a lot of money. He's getting it over a lot of years, and the cap hit isn't as big. I think you're going to see more. I think you're going to see more contracts like that because that gives you you can pay your quarterback, but you still have a chance to build a team around him. You get a quarterback like Rodgers or like Russell Wilson, where you're paying him $50 million a year. That just eats up so much of your
Well,
cap.
what I'm saying, Carr though, I think you could get
Carr
cheap.
you could get
not cheap, but you know what I mean.
maybe 20.
If he gets released, who knows what the market's going to be.
I would say I'd say he could get close to 20 million a year, just because he hasn't been terrible.
But Houston should have a lot of money.
Yeah, Houston should have quite a bit salary cap room as well. I know the Colts have a lot of salary cap room, and the cap just went up almost 18 million, so that's going to help some teams.
Yeah, right there's went up 18 million right there, almost paid for Carr.
And like the Packers, I think they're like 50 million over the salary cap, even with
that's why a lot of people think they're going to move on.
Even with it going up, they're still way over. They're going right, and you got to be under the cap by a certain date. I forget what date it is now. Glenn, I kind of agree with you. Too soon. Wait till July, then we'll know if he retired. I agree. He might not stay retired again. Who knows if? Today he came out and said he retired. I think part of that was if he was going to retire, he wanted to be the one to announce it, and not like the Schefter and the reporters. Because last year they came out and it kind of took over the AFC Championship weekend, or AFC and NFC Championship weekend, because everybody was talking about Brady, because it was actually the same day. It was this day last year when he retired. I think I don't know. I kind of think he's going to stay retired, but also in my gut, I think there's still a chance he might come back if the Raiders or the 49ers come to him and they convince him that they have a shot where he thinks they could compete. I wouldn't put it past him for him to come back another year.
I think San Francisco's got a lot better team than the Raiders. As far as convincing him. I'm not saying that he's coming back. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, the 49ers. You add in a good quarterback. You don't even have to be a great quarterback. You add in a good quarterback on that team, they're going to have a chance.
If Purdy comes back, I think they're going to have a shot.
I just don't know how. Is Purdy going to be ready at the beginning of the regular season? That's that's the question that San Francisco is going to have to ask. And if he's not, do you want to play like a Trey Lance or somebody, or what's your plan going to be?
February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 7 months, and they're saying 6 months. But I don't know when he can start training.
Glenn said 49ers are the only team he can see him playing for. Which, hey, I wouldn't put that past. I still think Aaron Rodgers might end up with the 49ers as well, depending on, especially if he's really willing to rework his contract. If he's willing to rework his contract, I think there's some you can see the 49. I think there's quite a few places I'd be interested in.
I know a lot of people say the Jets. A lot of people rank the Jets higher than I do. I watched them play 2 or 3 times last year. Maybe I watched the wrong games. I wasn't that impressed.
They have a good defense, but they're all. I think they need more on offense than just a quarterback.
Everybody talked about all these weapons they had. I didn't.
They have They have a decent receiver.
Well, I know that running back got hurt.
Yeah, they have the running back, and they have that rookie receiver Wilson. I think he's going to be real good. He put up some numbers last year.
But does that running back come back? Sometimes running back gets hurt, and never come back the same.
Well, that's what I was saying on the afternoon Blitz show about Tony Pollard with Dallas. You're talking about a guy coming off a broken leg. He broke his fibula. Yeah, I know he messed his ankle up too, but he broke his fibula. And is he going to be the same? You never know, especially a running back.
I read an article yesterday. I think it was yesterday, that some people, and I didn't agree with this, said that the Colts might trade Taylor, and you might be able to get him for a 2nd-round pick. Now, the reason they said that you might trade Taylor, and I'm not wanting them to trade him or anything, but the only thing is that he's going to be off his rookie deal after next year.
Yeah.
How many running backs get paid?
Oh, yeah.
And never. But how much compared? What's a top running back getting nowadays? What is the highest one?
I'm not sure what the highest is. I know Zeke's around 10, and he was one of the highest when he first signed his deal, but maybe 14, 15 million a year, somewhere around there.
To me, I don't think that's a bad get. That's just
Depends
me.
on how many years you're going to sign him for.
I wouldn't go more than 3.
I don't want to. I mean, and my son he's been saying this before I've seen any reports come out online or anything. Austin has that the Colts should trade Jonathan Taylor. He was saying that during the season that they should trade him and get some other positions because they have some other good running backs. I wouldn't trade him yet. I would keep him and I would see what kind of if you come to a contract that you feel comfortable with. Now, if he's wanting more than what you feel comfortable with, then you try to trade him or move on.
Well, how much would you be willing to pay him a year? What do you? I mean,
I'd
I don't
pay
know
him.
what I don't know the going rate.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't looked up running. Well, I don't have. I had it somewhere. I was gonna see what the franchise tag was. That's an average of.
I thought you said the other day. I want to say I thought you said 11.
It might have been like 11 million is the average. So I'd pay him I'd pay
15?
him 14, 15.
Well, if he got 1 or 20.
I don't know if
What
I'd
if he
pay
won?
20.
What if he won 4 years, 80 million?
I don't know if I'd pay him 20 because you're getting in that. Then you're putting yourself in that situation.
What about 3 years?
You could be putting yourself in that situation like the Cowboys were with Ezekiel Elliott.
What about 3 years, 50? That's 16, 17 million a year.
Yeah, I'd probably do something like that. I'm trying to. I can't remember where I remember sharing that. I think it was. I think you're right. I think it was 11. Here, let me look at. I'm gonna look it up real quick. You just don't want to get yourself in a situation. Look how much the Cowboys paid Zeke, and then the production goes down, and then it turns into a real bad contract.
Well, he didn't have a great year this year. I mean, he was hurt, and then also the offensive line was terrible.
Yeah, this is the first. I mean, we've seen what he can do when he's healthy. There we go. Christian McCaffrey makes 16 a year.
Okay.
16 million. Alvin Kamara is at 15 million. Ezekiel Elliott was at 15 million. Dalvin Cook is at 12 and then 0.6 million. So I would say you can get him for 14, 15 million. I'd probably the highest paid running back right now is Dalvin Cook. And his salary cap number for this season is going to be 14 million. He signed a 5-year, $63 million extension.
So 15, 16 million is what you're looking at, probably.
Yeah, probably something.
Now, if he came out and asked for 20, would you do it? No.
I don't think I would.
I don't think you could after
I don't think I
injury.
would, for one, because he had an injury year this year. But for two, running backs have been kind of devalued in the NFL, and it seems like that's a position that's easier to change out a guy. You know what I'm saying? It seems like running backs are a lot easier to find than some other positions. And you can get by without having a top running back in the league if you have the right guy at the quarterback.
Yeah, Glenn said how long it took Paul George to recover from a broken leg. Is the injury that the guy we're talking about with the broken leg, is it similar to that or probably not as bad?
I'm not sure.
I know George's was a bad break.
I know George's was around his knee. I know this. They say he broke his fibula and he had to have some kind of surgery on his ankle as well. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, because somebody said they thought that I think it was Jay McLevin said thought he'd be back.
And like it's like 3 months or something. That sounds 3 months sounds awful quick on a broken leg.
Yeah, maybe to be able to start training, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, 3 months. When he said 3 months, I was like, man, that sounds awful quick.
Did to me. It must not have been that bad a break then. That would be my thing. Paul George's was bad. Paul George was bad break.
Man, I remember watching that when it happened. That was nasty.
Who else was in basketball we had a real bad break? George had one, and then another player had a real bad one we've seen on TV.
I think you talking about? I think you might be thinking of college basketball, and then was it the national championship game or a game or Final Four game or something?
Yeah. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember what school it was now, but the guy had a nasty break.
Yeah.
I think it was a Final Four game because I think they played the next game or made the championship, but didn't have them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that's right. And of course, we've seen some bad ones in football too.
probably. I think Joe Theismann probably was one of the worst ones we've seen in football.
Yeah.
Not besides like DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah. I'm talking
But I
about
mean, like
breaks,
like break.
Yeah.
Because that was nasty. Alex Smith was a nasty
No
one.
bad.
But all right, let's go ahead and jump in. We'll jump into NBA first. Got pretty big slate of NBA games tonight.
No, not much NHL. I didn't mess with. There's only 2 games in NHL tonight, so I didn't. And matter of fact, they're getting ready to go 2 games, and then they're going on break for the All-Star game. The All-Star game is February.
They're already on the All-Star. Damn.
Their All-Star game is February 4th.
Also, just a couple days this weekend.
Yep.
Saturday. Yep. Saturday night. I won't be watching that. We got a busy weekend this week. Actually, this has been a pretty busy week with a couple of interviews.
Got interview tonight.
Another interview tonight, and we got 2 wrestling shows, and then
then
we have a big award show on Monday night. So
I'm excited for this interview tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. Got pro wrestler T. Ray Watford joining us tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern
from Texas.
Get live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. But first game in the NBA tonight, you have the Orlando Magic at the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers are 9.5-point favorites in this game, minus 400 on the money line. The Magic are plus 315 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 230.5. These two teams played on Monday. The Magic beat the Sixers by 10 points. Sixers were 9.5-point favorites in that game on Monday. The Magic are 20-31 on the season, 7-18 on the road, 3-2 over their last 5 games. For the Sixers, they are 32-17 on the season, 19-8 at home, 4-1 over their last 5.
Pablo.
Magic actually ended a 4-game winning streak for the 76ers. The 76ers do lead the season series 2-1. All three games have been decided by 9 or 10 points. The Sixers won the first 2 games, one by 9, one by 10, and then, like I said, the Magic beat the Sixers by 10 on Monday. So whoever wins is won by double digits. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to say a blowout, but double digits. I lean toward the Sixers being at home again, but I'm not. It's not a pick I'm going to give out as one of my picks of the day. One reason that I got burned by the Magic on Monday.
I was going to say, ain't you going to take the Sixers again?
No, I ain't taking the Sixers again this time. I favor the Sixers. That's who I think will win the game, but I'm not. It's not going to be one of my picks of the day.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have won.
Then you have why is it going down there? Why is it showing that game? I don't know. I don't know why it's not showing the Wizards game. All right, next game is the Portland Trailblazers at the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are 5.5-point favorites. They're minus 215 on the money line. The Trailblazers are plus 180 on the money line. Over-under is at 239. These are odds off of FanDuel Sportsbook. Portland is 24-26 on the season, 10-15 on the road. They're 5-2 over the last 5 games. The Grizzlies are 32-18, 21-3 at home, 1-4 over the last 5. 4 of their last 5 games have been on the road, and they lost 4 games on the road, and they were able to win their last game at home. They lead the season series against Portland 1-0. I like the Grizzlies here. This was at 5. Now it's went up to 5.5. But I'll still take it at the 5.5. Then you have the Brooklyn Nets at the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are 9-point favorites, minus 390 on the money line. The Nets are plus 310 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 224. The Nets are 31-19, 16-11 on the road. 4-1 over their last 5 games. Durant is still out for the Nets. You also have Simmons out tonight and TJ Warren out. For the Boston Celtics, they are 36-15 on the season, 9-6 at home, 19-6 at home, 2-3 over their last 5 games. They will have Marcus Smart out tonight, and Robert Williams is questionable whether he'll be playing tonight. Boston does lead the season series 2-0 against the Nets. Uh, this is a game I favor Boston. I think Boston wins, but 9 points is too many points, especially the way the Nets have been playing. I know they don't have Durant, but the Nets have they won I think 4 of 6 without Durant. So they're 4-1 over their last 5. And they had Durant in those games, so it's going okay. That's why. Yep, I remember reading that now. Thanks, AP. That was actually one of the games I was giving out a pick for tonight. Pistons and Wizards got postponed, I think, because of ice or something. It was weathery, and one of the teams is stuck in Dallas to do the weather. So that game did. I remember reading that earlier, but that was actually one of the picks I was giving out. Next game, the Golden State Warriors at the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Warriors are 3.5-point favorites, minus 166 on the money line. T-Wolves are plus 140 on the money line. Over-under for this game is set at 238. The Warriors are 26-24 on the season, 7-18 on the road. They've struggled on the road, but they did win. They did win their last road game earlier this week. They're 4-1 over their last 5, and they lead the season series against the T-Wolves 1-0. Timberwolves are 27-26, 18-11 at home. They're 3-2 over their last 5 games. I like the Warriors here on the road at the minus 3.5. At the minus 3.5. Warriors have been playing some pretty good basketball. Steph Curry's starting to get back in a groove after missing some games. I think the Warriors are going to pick up a win on the road tonight. Next game is the Sacramento Kings at the San Antonio Spurs. The Kings are 8-point favorites, minus 320 on the money line. Spurs are plus 260 on the money line. Over-unders at 244. Excuse me. Kings are 28-21, 12-10 on the road, 2-3 over the last 5 games. They lead the season series 2-0 against the Spurs. The Spurs are 14-37, 9-19 at home, 0-5 over their last 5 games. Over-unders at 244, where I talked about that. I like the Kings in this game. 8 points is right on the edge for me, especially just because it's on a road game. But the Kings have been one of the more surprise teams this year. Been one of the better teams in the West. So I would favor the Kings in that game. OKC Thunder at the Raptors. The Thunder are 6-point favorites. That's went up. It was at 5.5.
Wait a minute. OKC plays the Raptors?
Rockets. Rockets.
Okay, I was gonna say I haven't played Houston. You had me all messed up.
Yeah, they play OKC at the Houston Rockets. OKC's a 6-point favorite, minus 230 on the money line. The Rockets are plus 190 on the money line. Over-unders at 232.5. Like I said, this was at 5.5 earlier this morning, and this went up to 6. The Thunder are 24-26 on the season, 9-15 on the road, 2-3 over their last 5. The Rockets are 12-38 on the season, 7-17 at home, 2-3 over the last 5. And the Rockets do lead the season series against OKC 1-0. But I like OKC at the minus 6 in this game. Then you have the Toronto Raptors at the Utah Jazz.
Okay, here we go.
The Raptors are the Jazz are 3-point favorites, minus 148 on the money line. Raptors are plus 126 on the money line. Over-unders at 230.5. The Raptors are 23-29 on the season, 8-17 on the road, 3-2 over their last 5 games. The Jazz are 26-26 on the season, 17-9 at home, and 3-2 over their last 5. I like the Jazz at the minus 3. And then last game of the night in the NBA, you have the Atlanta Hawks at the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are 1-point favorites, minus 116 on the money line. The Hawks are minus 102 on the money line. Over-unders at 231.5. The Hawks are 25-26 on the season, 12-15 on the road. Suns are 27-25 on the season, 19-8 at home. I like the Suns. I like the Suns in this game. It's not a game, and I'll be honest, it's not a game I'm giving out as one of my picks of the night. but I'd favor the Suns over the Hawks, especially at home. My picks in the NBA that I'm giving out for tonight. Okay, I got to take that one off because that game's been postponed. That was going to be one. So my picks are going to be the Grizzlies -5.5 against the Portland Trailblazers. OKC Thunder -6 against the Houston Rockets. I like the Warriors at the -3.5 against the Timberwolves. And then I'm going to take the Utah Jazz -3 against the Toronto Raptors. That's going to be my NBA picks for tonight.
All right. My NBA parlay for tonight is I got Golden State -3.5 at the Timberwolves. I've got Atlanta at the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns money line win. And I've got OKC -6 at Houston.
Then in college basketball tonight, I'm going to take, I got 3 games I'm going to take. First game, Purdue against Penn State. Purdue's at home. They're ranked number 1 in the country. This was a 10-point. It was a 10-point spread. Now it's went down to -9.5. I like Penn State. I think Purdue wins the game. I think it's going. I think it's going to be a closer game. Big Ten games are usually a little bit rougher than when you're playing non-conference. Penn State isn't a bad team. They played some of the top teams close. I was looking at the numbers. Their numbers, like what they score offensively and what they allow defensively, both teams are real similar on that. So I think it's going to be a good game. So I'm going to take Penn State to +9.5. Even though I do think Purdue wins the game, but I think Penn State is going to cover the spread.
Purdue plays a lot of close games.
Yeah. Purdue is on an 8-game win streak, by the way, as well. Tennessee and Florida. Tennessee's ranked, I think, number 2 in the nation.
I think so, 2 or 3.
Number 2. This was 5. It's went up to 5.5. But they're playing Florida. Tennessee averages scoring like 74 points a game. Only allows their defense is just good. They allow them 54 points a game. I think that defense is going to be too much for Florida. I like Tennessee at the -5.5. And then the last game I'm going to take is Marquette at home against Villanova. I want to check on the spread to make sure the spread's still the same. I had it at -6 is what it was at earlier. But if you look at the numbers, Marquette has the better offense and the better defense. I do think where I know if I can find it. Did you have any college basketball?
Yeah, I've got a college basketball parlay for tonight. I got Tennessee -5.5 at Florida. I got Radford -6 at Presbyterian. And I've got Creighton. It's a big point spread, -13 at Georgetown.
Creighton's always killed me.
Creighton, last time I played Georgetown, killed them. Georgetown's not very good.
Yeah,
Georgetown did get a win here the other day, but yeah, it's a big point spread, but I don't like Georgetown, so yeah, I went with Creighton.
Okay, Marquette is at home against Villanova. Marquette's ranked 14th in the country. They're 6.5-point favorites. Over-unders at 145.5. I like Marquette -6.5. It was at 6 earlier. It's went to 6.5. So in college basketball, for me, it's Penn State +9.5, Tennessee -5.5, and Marquette -6.5. Did you have anything else?
Nope. Like I said, no NHL because there's only 2 games and they're getting ready to go on break.
So they're slowing down for the All-Star game.
Last 2 games. At the All-Star game, I think it's the 4th, if I remember right.
We'll talk. We didn't talk much NFL today because we've talked about the Super Bowl the last couple of days.
And we got a while.
So once we get closer to the Super Bowl, we'll give out our final picks, and I'll probably give out some picks on some of the prop bets next week as more prop bets come out. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl. Join us tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Pro wrestler from Texas, T. Ray Watford, will be joining us on GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room, 7:30 p.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room, and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Also tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss GSR Gonzo Sports Room. We'll talk Tom Brady retiring. We'll talk the head coaching hires in the NFL, and we'll also talk some NBA. So come join us for that tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. And then, like we mentioned earlier, this weekend, Saturday night, 6:30 p.m., we're going to be in Crawfordsville, Indiana for NGW wrestling. They got looks like they got a good card put together. It's going to be our first time there, so it's should be a fun night. So come join us for that. And that'll be live on at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. And then Sunday we have Summit Pro Wrestling, Greenfield, Indiana at 4 p.m. Eastern. Looks like Summit Pros put together another great card. Yep. We always have a good time going over there to Summit Pro. So come join us for that. You won't be disappointed. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you'll enjoy it. Did I miss anything?
I think so.
Before we get out of here for today, I'll go back over my picks for tonight. NBA, I got the Grizzlies -5.5. OKC -6. The Warriors -3.5, and the Utah Jazz -3. College basketball tonight: Penn State +9.5, Tennessee -5.5, and Marquette at the -6.5. If you missed our interview yesterday with the pro wrestler Jordan James, go check that out on our YouTube page at Gonzo Sports Room, or on the Facebook page as well, or at the All Sports All Plays Network. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. We'd greatly appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for joining us today for Easy Money, a sports betting show. We'll be back tomorrow right around 3 p.m. Eastern with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Hope you do good on your picks tonight. Have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.